Oh, hey. Been a while, hasn't it? First off, sorry there hasn't been any updates from me on Facebook, Twitter, Screw Attack, Reviewers Unknown, Blip. I've just been extremely busy, haven't had any time to sit down and record anything. Basically what I've been doing is finishing up the last bit of my Mass Effect armor for Hal-Con, which was this past weekend. You'll see some photos here. I got it good enough to wear. It's not 100%. I want to put some lights in it, but after talking to a lot of people from what's known as the Maritime Heavy Armor Group, I've gotten a lot of great tips and tricks on how to build better armor. So I'm thinking of actually scrapping the whole thing and starting over from scratch. I still got the templates. Some of them I have to redo because I stretched them a little bit too big, and in some areas, like especially like the bicep parts, I didn't get the right measurements. So, but I had it good enough to wear and good enough for some photos. The one thing I did learn though from all this armor making is that I picked a foam that wasn't thick enough. It was 3/8 of an inch thick, and they are telling me that you need to either go 1/2 or at least an inch thick to get the proper stability to the armor. Because what was happening is that whereas I was taking the heat gun to it and I was molding it to my body, it was still a little bit too flexible. So much so is that the legging strap, that the belt I had, I put on the outside, and I put the armor on the outside of it so it would actually stick in, which helped for mobility's sake, but also ended up bending the abdomen to like this weird curvature, which I can't really illustrate that well with my hands, but it was this weird curvature to the armor. So yeah, that was that. I put a lot of hard work into it, and the next set of armor will be really well. Although I am thinking of, for next year, attempting to doing Common Rider Decay. So I've got the belt. I don't have any patterns for like shoulders, chest piece, but I do have an idea what to do for the bodysuit, which, if you've seen, is a combination of black, pink, and white. My friends have some really good fabric paint that they're willing to let me use, or at least give me the information to buy my own. And I'm gonna buy another one of those morph suits that you see on people at, you know, baseball and football games, and that people use for other costumes. And I'm going to use that as the base for the Decay piece. But I'm gonna give you guys an update as what's happening here with videos. We're gonna have a new series debuting soon. Kind of a take on, if you've seen Two Best Friends Play. It's going to be me and my girlfriend Melanie. We're just going to be playing games together. It's going to be called Couples That Play Together. Kind of a play off of Couples That Play Together, Stay Together. So we're both big gamers. She's more on the PC side, and I'm more on the console side. So it's going to be interesting. We're going to play a lot of co-op games. And I'll tell you, the first two games we're thinking of are going to be Justice League Heroes on the Xbox, and one of the games I'm going to show you in the latest game pickups. You guys have been missing that, haven't you? We've got a lot to go through, but I'm going to continue on first as to what's upcoming. I'm also getting back in the fray of Achievement Horde videos. The next one's not going to be on a full game. Whereas I do have one, I'm doing a double take on the Batman games, but I'm working out cameo pieces with somebody, and as soon as I can get the okay from them, we'll get that filmed. If not, then it's just going to be a pretty abrupt ending, which I really don't want to do. But the next video I'm probably going to do is easy and free achievements. Basically, I'm going to go over games, the games that have the easiest achievements in the world you could possibly get, and then there are games out there that you can actually get achievements for free because the games themselves are free. And people watching who have done achievement hoarding probably know which games are going to be picked, so not a big surprise, but I think it'll be a fun little side video for you guys. So also going to be doing I haven't confirmed this or not. I'm still pitching around the idea of doing wrestling reviews. Basically, not reviewing shows. I mean, we've got enough people doing that right now. Not reviewing pay-per-views. I mean, unless it's like the odd vlog where I absolutely hate a pay-per-view or a Raw that I've seen so passionately to the point that I have to get it down on film. Talking about maybe like the video games, movies that wrestlers have appeared in. So one good example could be The Longest Yard, because probably half that cast is pro wrestlers. I mean, you've got Kevin Nash, you've got Goldberg, you've got the Great Khali, Stone Cold Steve Austin, to a very lesser extent Bob Sapp. I know he's an MMA fighter and he had inklings to do wrestling, but that's about it. Comic books, maybe a television show that the wrestler appeared in. Maybe like, hey, let's review that episode of that 70s show that the Hardys, Ken Shamrock, and The Rock were in. Oh, and Big Cat Ray Ladd. I think that's who that was. Anyway, that's a little side project that will probably be coming up. And another one, which I'm gonna leave this as a surprise, should be coming in the next month and a half, depending on how the videos. There's a few videos I'm waiting on to be released. So if those get done in a timely manner, you'll probably see another show from me. This one I'm really excited of, because I don't really think you've seen this type of show before. So I'm really excited for that. So let's get into pickups. A lot has been picked up over the last few months. And actually, this is probably my third or fourth attempt at filming the stuff I picked up before Hal-Con. But I figured now that Hal-Con's over, and I've gone to a lot of the vendors who brought in vintage video game consoles and things like that, I figured about just to loop them all in together. So first off, I want to show just a few of the merchandise pieces that I purchased. Mainly a model of the Normandy. This is actually the Cerberus version, so this is from Mass Effect 2, but actually came with DLC code for Mass Effect 3. I love this thing. It's $40, it's die cast, it weighs a lot, the stand is perfect. I love this thing. If I can find a die cast stand for my Playmates die cast Enterprise D, I'm definitely going to pick it up for that. There was a table that was selling vintage Star Trek and Star Wars toys. They actually had the transporter for the action figures. They had the shuttlecraft from the Enterprise. They actually had an electronic Enterprise that fired from torpedoes and things like that. But this is what I was interested in. I have the entire Star Wars trilogy on VHS, the original ones from Fox Video, $1 a piece. He sold all this to me for $3. These boxes are in pristine condition. I love this. Now, I had a conversation with the guy. He's like, "Oh, yeah, everyone's looking for these. They're hard to find." I'm like, "Not really. My local thrift stores usually have like a VHS copy of Star Wars or Indiana Jones." And he also was like, "Oh yeah, a lot of people hang on to their VHS tapes." I was like, "Yeah, especially for these, because these are untouched by Lucas." I know I'm not going to get into the whole Disney buying Lucasfilm. I think it's awesome. I can't wait for Star Wars 7 because I probably will make a video about what I think would make a good Star Wars Episode 7 video. Now this one has a lot of nostalgic feel for me. It's a VHS copy of Transformers: The Return of Optimus Prime. In my opinion, the final 2 episodes of the series, because Headmasters and Target Masters, it's like, hey, here's the new toys. Oh, and by the way, your show's canceled. I bought this. It was $3. I bought this just for the fact that my aunt had this VHS tape. It didn't have anything else related to Transformers. This is by far my favorite episode of Transformers. This could have been its own movie. It feels like it's its own movie. And I wanted to keep this. I mean, Transformers is readily available on Netflix now. The DVDs are not that hard to come by. Not like before when Rhino Entertainment had the license and those were like impossible to find. Now they're readily available. You can find them anywhere. But this is just this is for pure childhood memories of me just watching this VHS tape over and over and over again and loving the Transformers for it. And okay, this wasn't purchased at Hal-Con, but I figured I'd show it off anyway. We found this at a thrift store. It is a Nintendo Power VHS tape for Diddy Kong Racing. Haven't played it in here. I haven't put it in yet. I don't know if it's tips or tricks or if it's one of those crazy things, but I'll take a look at it. If it's riffable, why not? I'm gonna get my buddy Gabe in on this. Alright, game time. Starting off with Super Nintendo. This one's still a little dirty. I haven't cleaned it up yet, but for $4 I got myself a copy of ABA Jam Tournament Edition. I used the one with Will Smith and Jazzy Jeff on it. Can't remember. This might also be the one with Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton, but we'll see. My local thrift store, or secondhand store, actually had a really good copy of Gradius 3. Can't beat that for $5. Konami classic. Another one game for $5 I picked up was The Simpsons, Bart's Nightmare. We all know about this game, don't we? We all know that, in some people's opinion, this is the worst Nostalgia Critic episode ever. I didn't mind it. And this is probably the best deal you're ever going to get on Super Mario Kart, unless you get it from those naive old ladies that don't know what old video games are worth. And around here, I haven't met any of them, except for one, which I will get into as soon as I show the game, because I got a quick story to tell, and then we'll get back into the games. Super Mario Kart for $15. But the thing is, it's got an old EB Games sticker on the back that I happen to peel off, and this was actually going for $10. Look at that, $10. So, we're going to move on to NES games next, but let me tell you that quick story. I am kicking myself so hard. I now check Kijiji, the Craigslist, the Canadian Craigslist, every single solitary second now because I missed out on this. There was a guy selling a lot of NES cartridges. A lot of these games I already had. There was two that I didn't. One of them I didn't really care all that much for. It was Low G-Man. I played it a little bit, not my type of game. But this guy had like Mario Duck Hunt, Ninja Gaiden 2, a bunch of other games. He was only asking $30 for the whole lot. And here's the kicker. One of the games in this lot was Little Samson. The $200 rare game that if you watch the Game Chasers, Billy and Jay picked up for like $10. In this lot of games for $30. I could have gotten that lot, sold off the rest of the games, made my money back, and had one of the rarest games in Nintendo history. I emailed the guy, I'm just like, I will buy the whole lot right here, right now. Give me your address, I'll come get it. No response. And the ad got taken down 20 minutes after I emailed them. Either he sold it to somebody, and to the guy who did buy it, fuck you. Or he kind of went, I should check the retail value of these games and find out if anything's worth it. Maybe he went on eBay and found out how much Little Samson was and took the ad down and goes, oh shit, this game's worth $200. I should sell it on eBay. Now to this day, I'm like checking Kijiji every single day until I find something that great. And actually, on Hal-Con, there was a person in the area who was selling all of her GameCube games for $2 a piece, and she had good titles. She had like Melee, the Mario Party games. I think there was like a Phantasy Star in there or something. I can't remember the whole list, but man, $2 a pop. I emailed her. I said, we'll be back in town tomorrow. Is there any way you could hold these games for us? Sure enough, I didn't hear back, but she reposted the ad and said all the games are sold. Why would you do that? Just take the ad down. Anyway, rambling over. Story's over. Let's get into some NES games. This one I have to clean. It is Street Fighter 2010, The Final Fight, because there's some gold markings on the arrow and on the handles. I'm one of the few people that actually likes this game. If you take Street Fighter out of it, it's actually a fun action platformer. I mean, we've all seen the Nerds review, we've all seen Spoon's review. I actually prefer Spoon's review a little bit better because it's just me. First, Picked up TMNT 2, the arcade game, for $7. Not bad. Love this game. Classic. These were all from the one table. I got these for $15 total. One of them was X'd out because she said it wasn't working. And yeah, you can hear a little bit of rattling in there. But I actually put it in and it did work. So thanks for the free game. Bugs Bunny's Birthday Blowout. Now everyone's like, oh wait, James reviewed this. He says it sucks. No, it does. I don't find it sucks. I played the hell out of this when I was a kid. I love this game. You know, that's the thing with angry reviewers. They train you to think that games are bad when they actually aren't. The price tags are still on these, but gotta have Double Dribble. Probably one of the best basketball games on the NES. Didn't play a whole lot of this game, but I picked it up and we had my laptop there, and I brought a few. I brought an emulator and some NES games to play, and I played this right after getting the game. And man, is this game ever fun! It's Base Wars from Konami and Ultra Games. It's robots that play baseball. They're tanks that shoot the ball out of a cannon. You fight when you try to steal a base or something. Like, I haven't played too much of it, but man, this game's fun. If you can find it, go get it. And Top Gun Second Mission. So I've got all the Top Gun games now on the NES. I gotta get rid of those price tags off it. Alright, we're running low on time here, folks, so let's plow through the rest of them. Sega Genesis. I got the cases here too. Alright, so the non-case games. I got myself a copy of X-Men, the one where you have to hit the reset button to continue. I got a copy of At That Scene Deal. Now this is from Hal-Con as well. So I got a copy of, let's flip it around here, Tecmo Super Bowl. Always love the Tecmo football games. And Blaster Master Deuce. Not the same as the NES. Not even really good sequel to the NES game. Just stick to the NES game. And to some respects the WiiWare game, because the WiiWare game is actually pretty fun. Oh, I already reviewed you. Alright, now some box games. Found this at a thrift store, Tailspin. Very different than the NES version. The NES version is a shoot 'em up. This one's a side scroller. Played a bit of it. Not bad. And I traded in one of my extra games for a box copy of Super Street Fighter 2 on the Genesis. This one's not too different from the Super Nintendo. The Super Nintendo has... Now, this is one of those instances where the Super Nintendo version is only slightly better. In some instances, it's better on Super Nintendo. But this, like, the sound on both games are pretty bad, but the Super Nintendo wins by just a hair, when usually it would be the other way around. It would be, you know, Super Nintendo would beat up Genesis, but what can you say? Street Fighter. I've got thousands of Street Fighter games. Alright, portable games. I figured since I've got a Game Boy Advance SP, and I'm buying mostly Game Boy games, I really should be getting some advanced games. So, got me a copy of Metroid Fusion, and at that same lot, I really should have researched the game before I bought it, because it wasn't the one I was thinking of, and there's tons of these games on the Game Boy Advance. Yu-Gi-Oh! The Eternal Duelist Soul. This one's just straight up card, the children's card game. I thought it was the one with the RPG where, you know, you pick a character and you're going through Battle City, and it was like all like anime chibi anime like. Not the case, so a little disappointed on that. PlayStation 2. Oh, no, actually, we're still on Game Boy. Let's keep going with Game Boy. Wario Land, Super Mario Land 3. Never played it until I popped this in. This is really enjoyable. I was really surprised, because I never played a Wario game before, because it's, you know, it's a side scroller, you're collecting coins, but in a different way. You're collecting them to, you know, you're just collecting them to have them, because, you know, you're supposed to be, you're Wario, you're greedy, right? Next up, this is actually more for Mel than me. This is probably the only Tomb Raider game she doesn't own.
I did have one, but it got lost.
Yeah, she had one, but it got lost. And that is Tomb Raider Curse of the Sword for Game Boy Color. as I drop it. It plays a lot like Prince of Persia. That's all I'll say about that. And finally for Game Boy, Castlevania The Adventure. They had Adventure 2, but I was running low on money. I was buying way too much stuff. Alright, so got a couple of new 360 games. I've updated my my collection to disclude 2 games because I had to put them in for this. Darksiders 2 and WWE 12 are no longer in my collection. Newer games I'm going to try and trade in more. I'll pick them up at a later date just to have them in the collection, but for future games I'll need it. Zone of the Enders HD collection with the demo for Metal Gear Rising, which we haven't tried yet because I've still been trying to beat Borderlands 100%. And Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. I bought this off of a guy used for like $15 because I refused to buy it new. And supporting Capcom. Now, I bought this. There'll be no DLC purchase for this because it doesn't have anything to do with it. Alright, next up, PS2 games. I'm gonna start off with these two. I got these at my local GameStop for $1 a piece. My GameStop and the EB Games are starting to sell PS2 games dirt cheap now, new and used. So thank God. I picked up Def Jam Vendetta for the PS2. Basically, this is WWF No Mercy with Def Jam rappers. I remember playing the demo. It was a lot of fun, so we might get into this. And the next game is the other game that I said would probably be featured on Couples That Play Together, and that is Power Rangers Super Legends, the 15th anniversary. It's, from what I can see, it's a beat 'em up, and you play as different Rangers over the years. I think it goes all the way up to Operation Overdrive. So that would be 15-year mark. And you look at the top, the price tag's still on it. It says $29.99. Nah, I got that for $1, motherfuckers. I don't know whether I should be proud or insulted. This one was a donation from my buddy Gabe. X-Men Next Dimension. Which I heard is like the spiritual successor to the Mutant Academy games, which I didn't mind. I thought they were fun fighting games. I mean, nothing you would take to Evo or anything, but they're still fun. Oh, and finally for the PS2, just so I can make my own JRPGs at home, I've got RPG Maker 2. Uses the graphical style of like old school PS1 game like Dragon Warrior 7, Dragon Quest 7. So I'm really looking forward to getting that. However, I am going to get my own keyboard for this because if I'm going to put on a lot of dialogue, I'm going to need a keyboard to type it on. Finally, PC game. I haven't bought a PC game in a while, but I got myself a copy of StarCraft for $2 at a thrift store. And they had the expansion. Or did they? They didn't. Check the cases before you leave the store to make sure it's the right game. Thankfully, StarCraft was the right game. Brood War was a blanked, not even a blank, it was a CDR that had already been burned, and I figured, oh, maybe it's a copy of the game, right? Nope. It was, someone burned a DivX version of Billy Crystal and Robert De Niro's Analyze This, which I promptly snapped in half with one hand. And scared the shit out of my girlfriend in the process. And finally for games, we have 2 Xbox One games. Blink's the Time Sweeper, which I didn't play when it initially came out, but I wanted to give it a try because it seems really unique. Like, you know, you've got this vacuum and you're sucking up, you're slowing down and speeding up time and all that. And this one I don't see too often, so I had to pick it up. Panzer Dragoon Orta. Never played any of the Panzer Dragoon games. I think I played the demo once when the Saturn was like brand new in department stores. I think that's the only time I've ever played a Panzer Dragoon game. So that's it, and actually there's one other thing I'll show you guys that I found. I found it at my local dollar store because I was looking for buckles to finish my Mass Effect armor because there were some pieces that I just had to like snap in and buckle. I couldn't glue together, just for like, you know, travel's sake and having everything stay on while I was moving around. And then I came across this. Priced for $1 on the cover. Like printed on the cover. But in the rack of DVDs, there were 3 for $1. And fans of Spoonie and Bennett will absolutely recognize this right away when I show it. Space Thunder Kids. The movie that they took 4 or 5 different rip-off Korean animes, stuck them together to try and make a similar story, and it fails so bad. I have not even attempted to put this in. Look at the back too. Look at the back cover. It's just like a generic UFO shooting green laser beams, and then they're talking about the Dark Empire, the invasion of the Dark Enemy, and their evil giant robots. It doesn't even have running time on this. Screen select on auto start. That's the features of this DVD. I'm gonna use that as a form of torture on somebody, I'm sure. But that's my big long update. That's my stuff I got at Hal-Con and the updates to the game collection. So stay tuned. I'm gonna get back to streaming. I'm gonna get back to doing achievement horror and some 4-ups with the guys. And now this time I actually have a proper gamepad to use against them instead of my 360 wired controller. Got myself a USB SNES controller, which works awesome. So you guys are doomed now. Alright, bye guys.